Take that off. What are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Which Marvel film had a whopping 80% of scenes unscripted? Today, we're taking a look at memorable and hilarious Marvel moments that were made up completely on the spot. One MCU character name-dropped a major celebrity. Any ideas why? How did a very special visitor contribute directly to a very memorable improvised line?
People walking around saying, "Wakanda forever."
Wakanda forever!
Episode 2 of the Loki series brings a very random yet perfectly improvised line. Remember Loki's odd candy comment?
Candy. You have candy on Asgard? Yeah. Grapes, nuts. I wonder you're so bitter.
Hidleston came up with that on the spot, and it was just too good not to make the final cut. Director Kate Herron even highlighted it as one of her favorite moments that never fails to make her laugh.
We are not doing Get Help.
Director Taika Waititi was super collaborative on the set of Thor Ragnarok, which was a pretty big reason for the 80% of dialogue in the movie that ended up being completely improvised. Before shooting the brilliant Get Help scene, Waititi suggested that Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston do the scene as if they were playing a game from childhood. After exploring the idea for a bit, the scene was improvised from there.
Classic.
Still hate it? It's humiliating.
No, not for me, it's not.
Waititi does credit Hemsworth for coming up with the idea of Thor convincing Loki to go ahead with his plan. Apparently, Beyoncé exists in the MCU. At least according to Doctor Strange himself, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Try me, Beyoncé.
The Beyoncé reference was tossed in while Cumberbatch was improvising his way through the scene. Wong said that for the most part he was just listening and responding to Cumberbatch's instincts. The actors were really surprised by just how hilarious the material they came up with was. The moment was of course made even better by having Wong listening to Beyoncé for supposed research later on.
And he transformed back into himself and he was like, "Yeah, it's me!" And he stabbed me.
Thor's childhood snake story comes directly from Chris Hemsworth. The actor had actually come up with a number of different ideas in his improvs, but the snake memory wound up being the perfect fit.
So, who would like to start?
While on set for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan were given the framework of how the therapy scene should go, but aside from that, the actors were left to their own devices.
You really enjoy this?
I'm going to.
I know you are.
Yeah.
The result was a fantastic display of Mackie and Stan's improv skills, as well as their deep knowledge and connection to their characters. Even small details, like their interlocking legs, were natural instincts. Only 4 or 5 takes were filmed at each angle, which is significantly less than usual.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
The cast and crew were extremely surprised to have Thor throwing his mug after requesting more coffee. The spontaneous choice proved to be very popular with the Marvel president, so of course, it made the cut. Seeing this referenced in Loki again is a great moment, just going to show that sometimes these golden improvs become part of the world and we love to see it. The crew of Avengers Infinity War got quite the surprise when Winston Duke and other actors in the film started doing some chants in unison that they'd never heard before. Black Panther was still in production at that point, so only the cast members who were in both films knew what was going on. The surprise moment turned out to be a hit and made the final cut. Having these appear in both films was a great way to tie the movies together as well.
It's time.
No.
It's pretty surprising that one of the most emotional scenes in all of Avengers Infinity War was completely improvised by the actors. Vision's heartbreaking death scene was actually ad-libbed by Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany. The actors knew where they had to go with the scene, so the director told them to just follow their instincts, and we got the magic that we see in the movie.
We are out of time.
The actors were actually really freaked out in the moments they were filming, realizing just how much they were actually needing to improvise. They wound up joking a lot together, making filming the scene a very fun and silly process.
This thing looked like Coulson.
Talk like him, too.
The moment that Nick Fury peeks under the blanket on Skrull is pretty much gold, and an idea that came in the moment from Samuel L. Jackson. Director Ryan Fleck really enjoyed the spontaneous move, and after looking back at the footage, the team agreed that it was too good not to keep in the final cut.
Dance off, bro. Me and you.
Chris Pratt, aka Peter Quill's real-life clumsiness, came in very handy during filming of Guardians of the Galaxy. He managed to bring this great moment to life when he nearly dropped the orb, but it was actually completely by accident. It ended up fitting the moment so well though, so the take was kept.
And you've won. Congratulations. Fair game.
Karen Gillan initiated a game of paper football with Robert Downey Jr. floating in space, and the cameras loved it. So who is the paper football champ? Gillan has insisted that she was the winner since she was the one that started the match.
I'm gonna sit here so you move the leg.
In Captain America Civil War, when Robert Downey Jr. filmed this scene with Tom Holland, his telling Peter Parker to move was quite literally a direction. Holland had forgotten his blocking, so instead of breaking character, the Captain America actor pushed through the scene and made what needed to happen happen. The team loved it, so of course, it made the movie.
Hey! We know each other. He's a friend from work.
This improv idea didn't actually come from any of the actors. It was a suggestion made by a very special guest on the set one day. A young fan from Make-A-Wish was talking to Hemsworth between takes and said that Thor should say Hulk was a friend from work. The actor took it seriously and brought the funny line to life. That kid definitely has some good instincts. One of the most epic lines that came up on the spot in the MCU was definitely Robert Downey Jr.'s proclaiming he was Iron Man.
And I am Iron Man.
He completely surprised the filming crew when he did it and brought an extremely memorable moment to our screens.
We won. Mr. Stark.
When Robert Downey Jr. is on set, brilliant improv isn't too far away. His final scene in Avengers Endgame was fully unscripted. The team, of course, laid out an outline and explained what points needed to be hit in the scene, but otherwise, Downey Jr. and Tom Holland were left to make improv magic together. Holland said it was extremely emotional to film, especially with the small amount of people that were actually present for filming.
Nobody would know. Nobody.
Jeremy Renner's sidebar teasing remark at Pietro while rambling to himself as Hawkeye was born in the moment, and Renner committed so well, it made for one of the funniest bits in the whole movie. One simple word changed the meaning and amped this line up to be one of the most memorable snide remarks in Avengers Infinity War. Drax actor David Bautista changed the word where to why and made movie magic with his line about Gamora.
Who's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
Screenwriter Christopher Marcus was very impressed with the improv and gives total credit to Bautista for it.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Sir, please.
Peter Parker's final moments in Avengers Infinity War was actually inspired by a long improvisation the team had done while shooting. In it, they found the incredible moment that Holland has talking about how he doesn't want to go and made sure to add it to the movie. This emotional moment came from a simple direction to just act like he didn't want to go, and Holland nailed it. The Avengers post-credits scene that had the crew eating shawarma in a half-destroyed restaurant was totally inspired by one of Robert Downey Jr.'s improvised lines in an earlier scene.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
He threw the reference in after taking care of Loki, and considering how hard they were working, we wouldn't be surprised if the actor was actually just hungry. Evangeline Lilly and Paul Rudd punching it out makes for a great scene in the 2015 film Ant-Man. But what makes it even better is Rudd's improvised lines. The Ant-Man actor regularly threw in witty one-liners throughout the film, but one golden moment really stuck out to us. After being nailed by Lilly, Rudd quips,
Were you going for the hand?
"Nice try, Ant-Man." We have a feeling her aim is pretty accurate.
That's how you punch.
The MCU movies are definitely made that much better with the actors who portray these heroes. It's evident in so many of these cases that the actors are able to really embody their characters and bring hilarious and poignant moments to life. Which was your favorite improvised line?